Okay, first thing we're doing is using F2 to boot into the BIOS, and we're going to change the storage to AHCI/NVMe. This way we can actually boot off the hard drive. But we also need to go to integrated devices if we're using a Thunderbolt dock, which I forgot to do in here. So I'm going to go click on BIOS setup and go back in there and make that change. So I'm going to click on integrated devices. I'm going to scroll down. Well, I'm going to click because the scroll doesn't work very well. I'm going to turn on and enable Thunderbolt boot support and enable Thunderbolt and PCI behind TBT pre-boot modules. I'll exit and then I'll F12 boot. Now I'll be able to see the USB and looks like it is right there, USB disk 3.0. So at this point, if you're running off of the USB for the first time, there's a good chance it's going to want to repair that USB, but it'll only do this the first time after creating it. So right here, it's trying to just repair it really quick. I fast forward the crud out of this. So this will be done shortly. So the next steps is just running all the SCCM tasks. And most of this is just involves just waiting for SCCM client manager agent to actually do something, or Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager. But this will just take a little bit of time because I also fast forwarded this like 4,000%. Now we're going to be at the initial login page. We'll use the CGI login, the local login with the super secret password. Welcome. And then I think I fast forwarded through this. Yes, I definitely did. There we go. So again, there's that Thunderbolt popping up right there. So we'll go to our C drive where we normally do to run our Easy Verify. And we'll open up utilities. And we have Easy Verify 3.1, which is the correct one. And we'll type in our CGI username and password. And I have modified this batch file to automatically run the McAfee or the Trellix updates. You can see right there on the top. And it's also, you can see in the background, all those icons showed up. So we now have Easy Verify, Del Command. We have the user setup, the change BitLocker pin, and the BombGuard website. So you can just click on it, go straight there and type in your remote connect. So right now I'm installing the Del command, which it automatically did from that batch file. I'm just clicking through the prompts. This way we'll have everything we need to do firmware updates and up-to-date drivers as of the time that we're going to set this up. And it's also on the desktop, so you'll see once it's done installing that there will be an icon right where my mouse is. And as soon as the final part of the setup pops up and we hit close, Easy Verify will pop up. And you'll see also the Trellix agent popped up right there, and it ran all its updates, it's sending stuff. And our pin pops up, so we can type in our BitLocker pin now. At this point, we could, after we type in our Del, we can shut it down and then just let the next person who opens up this computer set it up, and we can move on to the next one. But we'll go through the full setup process. So you see I'm clicking on the Del command, which was just installed, and it now has a link on it, an actual icon. And we'll open this up and do a check. This way we have the firmware and the up-to-date drivers, so we don't have to rely on SCCM to do this for us. And this shouldn't take too long. And there we go. On this computer, it's 13 of 13 on a latitude 5520. And it does have firmware, and it does make a difference. At this point, we'll just close everything and we're going to restart the computer. It will start doing the firmware update, and then when it restarts after the firmware update, we will continue to doing the BitLocker initial login, and then it'll start encrypting the hard drive, and all we have to do is wait for the encryption to complete. But again, this step we could skip if we were in a hurry, and when the next person is actually setting up the computer for an existing user or new user, the encryption will complete before they're done setting up that computer. And I have sped up the firmware process, but I just wanted you to see this is what it looks like when it's properly doing it. Success. Green is good. Type in the password, all the fun login stuff. You know how to do all that. So now you just waiting for the encryption. I tend to open up the McAfee and just hit update one more time. But again, we just wait till this hit 100% and you're done. Shut it down, fill out your asset tracking sheet, and game over. Hope that was helpful.